everybody, I'm Angel Forrest, and welcome to Red Hot Sofa Talk. I had this idea to interview a bunch of my friends, 7 to be exact, to promote my new album, Hell Bent with Grace. Today is the first one, and I'm really, really excited, super contente, to introduce to you a woman I met about a year ago, and from the day I met her, I fell in love with her. She's a Franco-Ontarioan, and she's an artist, singer-songwriter. To me, I've said it before, the jewel, the newest jewel in the crown of songwriters in Quebec. Everybody, this is Reney Ray, but I like to call her Ray.
Yeah, hello.
Thanks for accepting, honey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very pleased to be here.
How do you like the couch?
I love the couch. I've slept on this couch.
You have. So the idea was obviously the album cover is me on the couch.
Yep.
And I wanted to do some talking with some girlfriends of mine because we're all so very busy that we don't really have time except if we're at a gig and we get to talk, backstage, and it's always stressful. And I thought I'd like to do some interviews, not even interviews, just conversations, get down, get dirty on the couch. It's a bit early this morning to have our red wine with us, but
Never
that's
too early
okay.
for that.
Never too early. I'm trying to,
that's fine.
I'm not giving everything out of the
let's not
bag
do
yet.
that.
But yeah, so I sent you my album, Hell Bent with Grace.
Yes. I listened
What'd you
to
think?
it. I loved it. I think that's my favorite so far, personally.
Thank you.
And there's a few songs that I told myself, holy shit,
It's okay, no holds barred.
Okay, good. I can swear this is
This
nice.
is not TV. We're okay.
Where the fuck did they get the lyrics, the melodies? A lot of it has been. I saw colors of like a bunch of artists that I like, that I know you guys like too. Influences,
which is a very high compliment. I love that.
Yeah, it was amazing. I cried in 3 of the songs.
Oh my! So which ones are you?
Well, your mom's song,
Marigold.
Marigold, is like incredibly touching.
Thank you. Tough one.
Oh,
tough one. It's tough
and
one
when
to
you
play,
say, I listened to it on the album and I heard you live singing it, and every time one or the other is like, sometimes somebody live is going to be more emotional, and on the album it's going to be more straight. On the album it's as emotional as when I'm watching you.
Thank you, because I get that a lot, that live people hear records and they say, wow, but live is so much better. But I find with this album, especially with Marigold, because it kind of was a live, we recorded it. That actual vocal take is from when we wrote the song. I was singing in a 57 and we were in Rick's basement, and we were just more or less putting the song down. But the emotion was really there, so we decided to keep that take. So that's cool that you have a good ear to hear that kind of thing.
I was very happy with that. And the song Grace is one of my favorites too. I like the fact that you bring up, I think it's about accepting everything that's happening, or life takes its course. You're growing older. You're going through all these changes, and you gotta accept it with grace. And
it's
a
tough,
lot of people don't do that
in our business too. I mean, you've got these pituns out there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's what I was attracted with you. Was that you're so down to earth. Like you sing barefoot like me, and I love the fact that you play guitar and you write. Like that's one regret that I have, and I never took up guitar, but I made sure I was surrounded by great guitarists. Exactly. I even married a couple and make sure that not for any other reason that I'm totally in love with this guy, but I regret not taking it up, but I just couldn't with the kids. And I more or less raised my kids when they were babies by themselves, which you know about. But yeah, it's a thing, Grace, that you. For especially menopausal woman, an older woman, and in this business that you can't afford to feel shitty about yourself because you're
always out there and people are always looking at you and to you, up to you, and you need to be confident and you need to inspire people. So you can't just be there going, oh shit, does my ass look big?
No, because it affects the way you.
It affects how you protect yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the worst thing.
That's so hard, because then you see yourself in pictures and videos and everybody's posting stuff about you, and then you're like, holy shit, that's not my best angle. And you're always
criticizing yourself.
And comparing yourself to somebody else. And I really, really appreciate you for that. It's one of the things I appreciate you the most for. I find that you are so graceful. Je te trouve tellement real, authentic, and you know what? C'est it's inspiring for me because I'm 34, and in my generation, it's like the beginning of all the fake everything and the fake I know it was there before, but it's even more now. Like people
crazy,
don't
well, that's Instagram and all those things, right? Because everybody, like you said, they're judging, so they want to be the best they can be in every single shot. And half of those shots are not even like on the spot shots. They're okay, baby, take this picture of me and let's check it. Oh no, take a few more, and it's like it's nothing real about it.
Yeah.
But the new generation, like you said, they're so hung up on that.
That's all it is.
It's all it is, yeah.
And it's sad for me because I love strong women. I love like tout ce qu'on peut accomplir dans la vie, you know, like, and to rise above all of that stupid nonsense.
But in your case, you are like that, and you're, like you said, 34.
Because I have people that
but
I
I
look up
wasn't
to.
always like that. You know, I went through my stages of being insecure, and I would still project that I was strong. But deep inside, I would have breakdowns, and I was questioning myself all the time, and I hated myself. And, you know, I would go through these stages of, oh, God, I hate my legs. I would never, you know, and then you'd meet somebody, you know, then I started working with Martin Deschamps, who's got one leg. And it's like, I'm such an asshole. Like, you know, I should be grateful, but it takes time for that. And grace is about that. It is about, you know, you think you're an ideal or you're the perfect thing, you know, the ideal weight, but really got to be the real weight that you need to be for what you are at that time and everything. And that song actually was inspired by some other women that you know, Lulu and Dawn and my girlfriend Shelley, and that have been through a lot of stuff, and they still shine on, you know, they still go on with all the shit that life gives you. So it does come later. But in your case, that's why I wanted you to be part of this, because I see that you've started earlier. Like you perceive that, you pursue, and we perceive it from you. I mean, when we see you, that this is the real deal. Like if I'm not feeling great today, you're gonna know I'm not feeling great today. But there's something inviting about that, because you kind of, and not only that, when we played on a boat the other day, and the first thing the captain said to me was, oh my God, you can feel her pain of her life in her voice. And I was like, right on to money. Like, and it's exactly what it is with you. Like it's real, and it's like we have different voices, but I think we're a lot the same because we have a lot of emotion in our voice. I'm a little bit more hard and rough and whatever, and I can get softer. But your voice just pulls you in, and like,
thank you.
It's beautiful. And your lyrics, I mean, I'm English, but I live in a French world, and they're beautiful. Like, they're just great. And I love the language that you speak, because I am English living in a French world. So, you know, married to a French guy, working with a French company, living in a French province. I still sing in English, but I live in the language. So there's all these words that come out. People are like, what? You know, what language is that? And when I met you, I was like, man, she talks just like me. Somebody we can do the half and half. Puis c'est ça, on parle pas très bien maintenant en français, parce qu'on rentre en anglais, parce que ça fait une couple de jours que Reney est chez moi, parce qu'elle m'aide à rebâtir l'autobus Maggie, parce qu'on déménage dans le bus très bientôt.
It's going to be beautiful.
And you're such an artist. That's another thing too. I was gonna, never mind écrire, you know, write and perform and play, but man, have you got some talent. Like my whole bathtub area is going to be you with the thing, and I have this beautiful ceramic table that is actually a picture that we decided to make into a table of Jimi Hendrix, 3D.
It's a mosaic,
Mosaic of his face, like with Jimi Hendrix. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And we wanted to have it in there because obviously we're getting rid of a lot of stuff. And there's some things that I can't get rid of, and there's stuff going in storage.
Yeah.
And
there's stuff that I'm taking home.
That's right, something you're taking home.
I've been shopping at Angel's house the last month. I'm like, oh, God, take this.
Yeah, if you put that block of wood up there and you drive a rope around there and put some ceramic, you can have that lamp. And if you...
Exactly.
I know, c'est pas ça, mais...
I fill my car up every time
But
I
it's
leave.
beautiful that you're helping out. I'm so glad to be able to take that with me, too, because... And obviously... We have shows coming up together. We're going to be doing, because Martin Deschamps put out an album and we both sing songs on it. And
that's a big honor for me to be singing with you guys and him and everybody. Wow.
And you're doing the song I did with him 20 years ago, and you've made it into a really
I was
cool.
like, oh my God, how the fuck am I going to do that?
But it's so cool the way you did it.
It's different.
Country, got a little thing to it. And I get to sing a song with him that I just did a little, it was terrible. And it's not only that, but it's recorded live, and it was at the Spectrum back in the day, and it's just like, I'm sorry, Marty, but it's not the best I've ever done. But it gave me the chance to sing it on a duo with him, so we're very excited. So we're going to see each other in February and do all that.
Will.
What do you do for You know, sometimes when you're feeling, because I know with my age and what I'm going through, a new album and moving and everything, I've found a nice yoga that's saved my life. What do you do for stuff to ground you or to help your mind out, help your psyche to keep going?
Well, before I used to write music to do that. It would help me kind of get to know myself more. And since now it's more of, it's not a job because it's always fun, but it's more of something I do all the time
An
now.
exercise as well, right?
Yeah, so now to shut off my brain, if I need to shut off my brain, I paint.
Ah,
I started
nice.
painting, and it's the only thing that makes me stop thinking about everything else. But in addition to that, I also
What do you
meditate.
listen to when you're painting?
I listen
Are you
to
into
anything.
something?
Yeah,
Into something specific
not,
right
no,
now?
not specifics. I like to just put on random stuff, and I
Gotta listen
discover.
to Lucas Nelson.
I will. Will you guys show me that?
The last 2 albums.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I
Go
will.
on.
I will, absolutely. But and I meditate a lot. I've
Do
been
you?
somebody who's been in the last, since I was 27, I started meditating and reading a lot on, which is why I'm accepting myself and more. I'm more authentic, if you'd like. I had troubles growing up too, and didn't know how to fit or how to cope with anything, and I was always insecure, and I was always daddy issues, mommy issues, you know. And
Yeah, you mentioned that your dad committed suicide when you were young.
my dad died when I was 11. He killed himself for it wasn't a mental illness. It was just a bad moment in his life, I think.
Depression.
Yeah.
I guess it is considered mental
depression.
issue when you're depressed, even if it's just for a moment.
Yeah, it is.
you don't get help
you
to
know,
talk
you
about it.
never would have guessed ever.
No.
Like, he was a working man, working all the time, and he was a really good dad. He was a good man.
Yeah, my cousin Billy killed himself a little over a year ago. Actually, the blame game is is about him, and that's the thing. He was the same way. He was happy, the happiest guy, right there to help you out anytime, always with a smile and fun, and you have no idea. You know, you have no idea, and that's actually why I wrote the blame game, because I wanted, you know, just people to know that if something's not going right, you know, like if you don't have any platforms like meditation or any kind of way to express yourself or to get within yourself to help yourself out, to talk about it. And there's so many organizations that can help you out. And just to say, hey, you know, something ain't right. I don't feel right, whatever. Because then, you know, they end up being very alone, and stuff happens. And like your dad and Billy, ends up in suicide. And people that are left behind are just like, what the hell, you know? You don't know. You seem fine. Yeah. Why don't you say something? Because now you're blaming yourself for not seeing it. The blame game, you know? Like, I don't want to blame you. I don't want to blame me. But what the hell? Nobody. Yeah. And it's tough. I can't imagine being 11.
Well, when you're a kid, you blame yourself, you know? You're like, I wrote a song about it on my French album called Le Soleil est jaune pastel. And it's about me blaming myself my whole childhood for my dad committing suicide, because I didn't know any better. To me, I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't nice enough. I wasn't a good kid enough. Maybe if I would have been nicer or prettier, he would have stayed. And then you grow up going through phases of, okay, well, men don't like me, or I'm not loved, or I have to please him more, and you go through a fucking shit hell of a time trying to be somebody you're not, and you don't accept yourself. And then when I turned 27, I went through a big, something really major happened in my life where I just, you know what, fuck off. And I left. I went in an apartment. I made a fire for a year, and I read books on spirituality. And
you made a fire? You mean you burnt?
I made a fire in my fireplace. Oh, okay. For a year. I'd sleep in front of the fireplace for a whole year.
Nice.
Like a whole year of
You really do have Indian in you, eh?
Yes.
That's great. I love it. I wish. When I was a kid, I used to say that I was part Cherokee. I said, I'm half Italian, half Irish, and half Cherokee. I literally would say that. I was a little kid. I was dumb. I didn't. My math abilities were not great. But I love that whole culture, and that is in you. You can tell that, you know. And it helped you.
It helped me.
You found the answers.
I made sense of my entire life. I think I went maybe crazy for like a few months in
Oh,
there
you
too.
gotta.
Like,
Yeah.
like seriously, I read like I couldn't get enough information, and I'd read and read and read and read, and I'd meditate, and I'd have all these, I guess, visions or whatever. I was so into that, and I loved it, and it made me accept my whole childhood, everything I went through. It made sense all of a sudden, you know. And then I started writing better songs, because before my songs were always sad. Even if the subjects I talk about are sad today, they're always hopeful.
Yeah,
they're always
exactly, yeah.
in a good goal to, like, there's something good that's going to come out of this, and, you know, just look for the positive side of it. But before, I used to write a lot about, like, oh, poor me, I'm so sad, and, you know, and it was different. And my whole perspective changed after that.
Well, it's crazy, but the meditation, and people say, oh, I meditate. It's not like a quiet moment. It's really how you realize how strong your mind is. It pulls you into the past, pulls you into the future. If you just be in that moment. And I've been doing Kundalini yoga since March, and I've been a heavy OCD person. And when I was a kid, all the way up. And when I'm stressed about something, it's really heavy, and it's exhausting. Like, I don't have it to the point where I wash my hands 15 times. But I do touch things, and I do blink my eyes, and I do have my feet in a certain position before I get into bed. Exhausting. And my kid, Dylan and Denny, both noticed it at some point, and they would have a little chuckle. And I was like, please don't stress me out about it, because it's making me, I'm unfocusing on what I got to do before I can start the car, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is a lot of people don't notice it. I think they don't.
I have that too.
Well,
I have that with signs on the freeway.
Counting and all that?
No, it's retarded. What I do, it's, oh my God, it's so time consuming. If I'm on the highway, doesn't matter, every sign that I see, I'm gonna do the, like, say it's Bromont. B-R-O-M. And it's not just the B, it's 3D. So I have to do, like, the little, like, I'm painting.
Because you're an artist.
Yeah, and then if I stop at a red light.
I love it.
And there's a freaking sign over there, I have to finish it before the light turns green.
Get the horn.
Or else I'm like,
heart palpitation.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm telling you.
It is annoying.
I don't know what kind of meditation you do or what it is, but this Kundalini, it's not just a meditation, but the
I did
actual
the other day,
thing. I sent you a link.
No, I did some with you the other morning. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Can't keep him up.
I was drilling your roof in your bus all day
with
before.
Denis and his long bit this long, and you're like trying to. So that's understandable, but that saved me.
But it's hard to do that, though.
It is hard, but you get to it, and I'm telling you, I'm down to 1%, 2% of OCD now.
It's awesome.
And it freaks me out. There's actually a couple other things that I don't want to talk about, but my phobia that I have, that I feel a little stronger about. I'm not looking to look for it, but I feel like I won't. But I'm hoping. I'm not even sure. But just to say that all of that meditation thing it saved me. Like, I wouldn't be able to pack up my 4-story rented house and give 3/4 of it away, sell, store, and move a little bit of it into this 40-foot bus. Ever in my life be ever able to do that. But I'm sure it's the Kundalini, it's the vegetarian for the last year and a bit. It's the album. That album I've wanted to write.
Oh man,
knowing that it shows, because everybody who's listening to it says, wow, it's a lot different than what you usually do.
And I love what you did before. And what does that mean? I love everything else that you did, but
it's different.
There's something really, really special about
true
this
identity.
album.
Satnam.
See, it's really inspiring. And I love that.
Thank you.
I really love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I touched on a lot of subjects that
That's good. People don't do that enough, I find.
Yeah, well, I've never been in a box. People are always like, oh, she's a tree hugger, oh, she's this, or she's rock, or she's a Janice cover copy, or she's, it's always been different. And it's bothered me. The Janice thing bothered me because people still call, hey, Janice. And actually, Denny looked at me the other day and goes, doesn't that bother you? I said, I appreciate it, and I take it as a compliment. But at the same time, it's like, man, I've worked hard to be Angel Forrest with 2 R's.
Exactly.
I've worked really hard lately, like last 10 years to really, I love doing Janice stuff, but even when I do Janice stuff, I do it my own version.
Exactly.
Like, if you listen to me and her, our tonality is not the same. It's not the same voice, not
totally
the same
different.
phrasing.
Yeah, no.
It's the delivery that's the same. It's the abandonment that's the same.
Exactly.
But so I appreciate that when people say it.
Strong women.
Strong women,
That's
exactly.
what you get, and it's beautiful that.
What do you find sexy in a person? I won't say a man,
God.
because maybe
Yeah, no,
maybe you like girls or
men
guys, or
I
Like we were talking about before. I mean, there's some women out there that are so strong
Yeah.
and so attractive that you think,
That's what I love. I find that's the most sexy in a human being is the strength, the inner strength.
Inner strength, yeah.
People that are not scared to talk about what they're feeling, to accept who they are, to work, because that's the hardest thing to do as a human, I find, is okay,
to work on yourself.
You realize that you have a problem
and you do shit about it. Yeah.
Fucking just put it aside,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, the dishes, we'll do it tomorrow. No, you got to work on yourself. And even if you do it one day, it doesn't mean the next day, oh, I did it yesterday, so I don't have to. No, you have to do it every day and be consistent.
And not just for yourself, but for the people around you.
Exactly.
A husband, a husband that's got a drinking problem.
Kids, you know, exactly.
You know, you got to take care of you so that the people around you will be happy and be healthy.
Lead by example, you know.
Yeah, because, but it's hard. It is hard, but I find that very sexy too, yeah.
Hard, but I find that's why I love women for that, especially because they go through so many phases, and
well, there's a reason why we have babies and men
exactly
don't, you know?
And we're more
like,
and nothing against men. I love men, and men are wonderful. They're
no, me too.
They're very inspiring to me, but I'm very fond of the strength of a woman. You know, everything that we can accomplish, and
well, we have a lot. We get a lot.
And,
you know, God being a woman, I'm thinking, has given us these things. You know, having babies, going through menopause. You know, all of the things that we have to do as women. It takes a major inner strength and a definite, you know, consistency and a definite determination.
You're fucking molding a human being. You're teaching a human being to be a human. Like, it is so and you
that's
have
it. Looking Glass on the album. That's the thing with this album is that I was able to do things that I could never. Like I wanted to write a song for my mom. She died 6 years ago. I could never find the words. I could never find the words. Even when she was alive, she wanted me to write a song for her, and I couldn't. And Looking Glass is a song that, you know, my two daughters, you know, 20 and 28, they're women now. And I want to give them a message about how proud I am of them and how I want them to be as women.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's something about getting to a certain age and going through the change of life that you realize that the change of life comes because you're no longer a baby maker.
Exactly.
You're no longer, you know, all these things happen to you physically because you're not supposed to have sex anymore. You know, thank God for science, because they give you some creams and they give you some, you know, a little bit of vino or whatever. But these things are important if you want to keep a relationship going, right? Because you know, it's part of life. But metabolically and all the way it is, you're made to make babies and to get the feeling and to do that. And then when things start to dry up and start to turn you into a man, like I say, I'm Minnie the Monster, you know. Yeah. It fucks with my feelings, you know. I don't understand. Takes my sexy away, trying to make me a man. It literally is. It's a battle to try and keep yourself feeling good inside, feeling good about yourself exterior, because your body changes, your mood changes, your sex appeal changes, you don't want to boogie your hips, you know, you don't want to move that area, but you need to find a way to, especially if you're a happily married person, you know, you have a supportive husband, which I do. He laughs about it, but we have to work at this. You know, you gotta.
All the time.
But with Looking Glass, as I was saying, is that you, at a certain age, you start to feel like half my life's done. If I'm lucky, I'm halfway there. You know, so you kind of want to get out your messages. You know, like that you didn't do in the last 50 years. You know, or make sure this person knows. I've started to say I love you to people I really care about. All the time. Now it's
you
like
said that to me the other
I'm on the
day.
phone. It's like, I love you. You know, just because
it's short.
Sorry.
Yeah. I know.
This is why I brought the pillow.
It's a good thing, though.
You know, but it is. But people, and when I was younger, people would be, I'd be like, yeah. You know, I'd be 20 going, and I just have he just said he loved me, man. What do you think that means? Do you think he wants a little bit of this? Or do you think he wants my money? What does that mean? Now, everybody is love and everybody is I love you. And I mean, if I, you know, and if you see the kindness, even in a stranger, kindness, you know, I won't say I love you, but I'll be like that, you know, very much eye contact. I've been like that for many years, the eye contact thing, because I think
it's important.
It's so important. Yeah. When I met my husband, when I met Denis, he was with another woman. He was at our house. We was jamming. We were working on my French album. He was actually auditioning. And I remember him not being able to look me in the eye. I mean, thinking to myself, Jesus, that's one crooked, that's, which you can't because people are shy.
Yeah.
And like he said to me, he said, babe, you're wearing this sexy white dress and you're a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't look you in the eye. And then after, I mean, now if you meet Denis, it's like this guy is like in your face, in your eye, talks to you this close. He's holding you to say hello. He's holding you to say goodbye.
Scrubbing your head and
he's
poking you.
So you can't really judge people from the first time, especially as artists that we are, because I don't realize that I'm just regular Joanne. I'm no nothing. If you ask me, I do it. If you like it, and then we have a good time, then that's amazing. But some people are not exposed to people like that are not even just artists, but people that are open, like, hey, come on over and join us. Well, okay, or here, have a drink, or can I go? Oh, you need a ride with that one? You park your car. You had too much to drink. Give me your keys. They're not used to people caring and being kind,
Exactly.
and we need to do that.
It's even people don't expect musicians or people that are in our line of work to be kind to them.
No, that's it.
When they're not.
Well, there's a lot of assholes out there.
Yeah, and like the
Uh-huh.
amount of times that people come talk to me after a show and they say, wow, you're like really nice. How come you're so nice? Thank you for, oh my God. And even on Facebook, sometimes people write me and I write back and they write, I can't believe you wrote
just
me
wrote me back. Yeah, oh my God, Well, that's my thing. That's part of my OCD, which I hope I never lose, is I can't send me a message and I can't do anything until I've responded to it. It drives people crazy. Put the phone down. No, but they just sent me a message. I got to respond now before I forget.
Yeah, and that's...
It has impact, though, and it's important.
Especially when they're writing you stuff like, you're writing about important stuff. So people are going to write you not just on
a whim.
Hey, what's up? Nice sound. Okay, bye. They're going to say, hey, this song really helped me out, or this song is important to me. And
you must get that a lot.
You helped me. I get that a lot. And you must get that too.
I get that right when it's time to give up.
Yeah.
It's happened to me many times. I've been just lost it. This is a few years ago. Lately, now since I've been into Kundalini, I'm hell bent with grace to get where I want to go and to touch as many people as I can. Yeah, but people will write me letters and notes and say, oh, j'ai joué ta tune à funérailles de mon père, ou j'ai fait ça, merci pour ça, and I'm bawling on the keyboard and I say, baby, okay, I'm sorry, I've been not getting this, but because it's hard because I don't have huge checks coming in. I don't have. We live every day to day. Luckily, I live. I share this with my husband and my partner, and my life. He's my life. So and that's why people say, I can't believe you're so nice, so generous. Yeah, I'm doing what I love with the man I love, and it's just just amazing. We're very lucky.
Me too for that. And that's why you can't just answer. You have to take the time to answer the people that are writing you because. You can't just go, okay, blue thumb, thanks. You
don't have, just a question like that, you don't have, you're not accroché to anything? Because I know when I was younger, I used to like to have a drink, a definite drink because I was nervous or the social pressure of, playing in bars and stuff like that. And you fall into drugs and different things like that. And I had my time. With it, and now my drug is a meditation and a little bit of wine sometimes, but physically I can't. I can't drink and
I don't. I smoked cigarettes for my whole life, and I stopped 4 years ago.
Nice.
So I told myself my whole life I'm gonna quit before I'm 30, and 3 days before my 30th birthday, I was like, fuck, I can't have said that to myself my whole life.
What I get myself into.
And keep smoking. So I quit for that reason, and it's been 4 years now. I never did any drugs ever because growing up I saw a lot of bullshit with drugs that I didn't want to.
People around you with addictions.
People around me with big addictions, and it broke my heart. And
it
I
kills
was like,
you,
no, I'm never going to touch that. And alcohol, I didn't drink for I drank as a teenager, woohoo, party time. And then from 17 to 28, 9, I drank maybe 3-4 times in all those years. And then I started playing in bars regularly. I started hanging out with younger people too a bit. Yeah. And then I started drinking socially, but no, I don't. I never have a drink at home. I never. I never buy a bottle and go sit at home and buy. No, I don't. And even I don't get drunk often.
Yeah, it's killer when
it's
you
very.
have.
I can't take it the
Well,
next day, and then vocally it
vocalist-wise, yeah. I
screws
mean,
up
when I
your
was younger, I
vocals.
thought I could get away with it. I used to remember have no voice left, and I would drink like an elixir. Back then was like what was it? It was honey and glycerin, and I literally would take shots of this stuff between phrases dans les clubs là, quand je jouais. I was like, oh, I got no voice, to try and soothe the chords. I mean, and I was an idiot. I was in my 20s and just thought I could do everything, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, if you don't have that meditation thing and stuff, or a valve that you can, and the meditation for me is like a valve that I open up to let out all the stress. Because I used to like pencil in my nervous breakdowns in my agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would have shows, you know, like, and I just couldn't, or I had the kids, or I had to, and what I would do is I would just like be watching a Bell commercial or a freaking Tim Hortons commercial, and I'd be start crying, you know. And I finally went on antidepressants for 6 months. And then I was pissed off at myself for being so weak. And I went off them like that. And I had like 2 blackouts. And the doctor said, what? You were on antidepressants? He didn't even give me the prescription. It was my mother. She had them. So, you know, I just realized that that whole valve thing, if you can do meditation, do it. Because if you become an addict to something, and that's part of mental illness as well, too, right? Is if you have that, you'll go, you know, next thing you know, you're doing cocaine, next thing you're doing heroin.
Anything that numbs whatever you're going through.
And that's Bain Lorraine is actually about that.
Exactly,
It's about,
that's what I was going to say.
About addiction, you know, and how it's killer for the person who loves you, you know.
Yeah. It's even harder for people who love you to watch you go and they can't do anything because the help needs to come from you. Right?
No, that's it. And if you don't, that's what I was saying. That's
you want to help them so bad, and you want to like.
So sexy about the inner strength thing is that if you can actually see you have a problem and get the help you need for whatever it is, addiction or you know, just you feel crazy. You know, we all feel crazy. I am crazy. But you know, and we vent it. We have the luck of doing the vehicle of music, you know, to get it out.
Exactly, and that's what saved my life, I think. And it's cliche to say, but it is absolutely the reason why I was able to understand what I was going through and everything that I was living. It was.
Well, it's like going to see a shrink.
It was instead of going to do drugs and instead of partying like a maniac, I was like in my room writing songs and playing guitar.
Yeah.
And
I know we're very lucky to have that. We are.
How did you find that? I've been wanting to ask you that. You raised your kids, and you pursued your career as a singer.
I raised them by myself. Actually, when Denis and I have been married for 12 years, so Denis was there even 7 years before that with Dylan, like because we were partners. We played all the time. He was always the man in my situation. I have good relationships with the dads, but they weren't there. They were there later on, and they're there now. But what happened was that I landed up putting my original career on hold and just doing bars. And in 2001 was the first time I was able to do an original thing, and it was a French thing, which it's a great album, but it's not me. It wasn't me. I was a broken woman, and not me. Here for You in 2005, while Denis and I were working together, he was there, and it was difficult. It was difficult, but they saved my life. You know, music, I like to say it saved my life. Playing live when I was younger, it rocked my world, and it made me, I didn't even realize that that's what I loved to do, because I was probably drunk or high or doing something and living from moment to moment, working waitressing during the day to, you know, to have money for my kid and pumping my milk at night and then not drinking and drinking too much because I couldn't drink before because I was breastfeeding. I think that the girls saved my life because, you know, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I stopped everything. Stopped cigarettes 29 years ago and stopped doing any kind of drugs and drinking while I was pregnant and breastfeeding. I breastfed both, one for 8 months, one for 2 years and a half. And it could have gone either way. I could have not and just fallen right into it because I was so stressed and had so much on my shoulders, but it saved me. And that's why Looking Glass is so important to me because I'm so proud of them. And, you know, we have to think about the future now. You and I are going to be connected because, I don't know if people know that, but your album, Reney Ray, which is, amazing record that, my band was
She's
privileged
nice enough to
partake in the making of that.
chance of playing with you.
And also, two people that don't know, Ray and I are both signed to the same record company,
Yeah.
which is a great team, which we love immensely, and have done so much for us, and that we believe in.
They're real people who
Real
like
people.
real people, and I think I think that's what I like the most about everybody. Everybody that I've met and that are signed with them, they all have
Ad literam.
an odd way. They're all authentic, and everybody that works for them are the same.
Yeah, it took me years. You're lucky young you get it. It took me years, man. I signed with them, I was 50. 49.
I remember sitting there the first day I
time.
met them at the table, and they were like 7 or 8, and I remember thinking in my mind, holy shit, I like all of them. Like, what the hell's going on?
Damn it. But they'd be nice to these people.
Oh, they're amazing.
No, they're a great team, and I think
that's how I met you.
That's how we met. That's right.
met.
The first, I think it was at the office or at one of the Guillaume
You
and
were allergic
Denise's.
to those fish.
Yeah.
You weren't. You
I was
intimidated
sick.
me the first time I met you. Yeah, well, you were sick that day.
C'est ça, j'ai rentré,
and you came in like, and I was like, and I knew you by name, but I didn't know you by like the first time I saw you, and I was a bit intimidated. I was like, well, because in my mind you're like the l'image d'une vraie femme for me is you.
Thank you.
That's.
Puis là, j'ai rentré dans le bureau. Later on in life, you'll find out that a lot of things, not just women, but you can become allergic to things. And I realize I'm allergic to finned fish, which I didn't know at the time. I get to the office and I walk in and I'm like, right to the toilet. Then I go in the back room and my face against the cold door. And I just, literally, and you keep picking it and everyone's like, wait, is she all right? It takes 4 hours for the whole pain to pass. But anyway, that
and
was
then the second time I saw you was at the barbecue for the Aditeram. And then I sat down with you and my daughter and we had a chat and I was like, oh, what a beautiful woman.
Right away I said, yes, great. So you guys played together, did the record.
Yeah.
You guys are
that was
the band.
That was one of the best weeks of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. And the boat last week.
Yeah.
This week was like one of the best days of my life too.
Beautiful.
It wasn't even just the
day crying.
It was emotionally like taking like c'était tellement.
They just like to remind us of how lucky we are.
Exactly.
Because the whole day
I cried
was
that like at the end of that album when we that whole week I was like I was sitting there and I remember telling Denny or Ricky, I said, I'm so happy, and I mean that with like complete humbleness, but I said, I think my record is gonna help so many women that are like going through so much fucking pain. Yeah. And you can at least like that's all I want to do. I just want to write songs that are gonna help people think about, fais-toi du bien là, comme.
You're a perfect example.
Exactly.
It's helped you to get where you are.
It has changed my whole life. Yeah. And have faith, avoir la foi, puis vraiment régler tes problèmes là. Do that.
Take them into your own hands.
And I remember sitting down and listening to the album once it was all like done, and I was like, I said, I know that's gonna help a lot of people, and that's the only reason I'm doing this.
It's a magical album.
It is.
Though. It really is.
And it was so magical. It was amazing.
But that whole thing of getting together, you were actually here in Granby, and remember you came over and you stayed with us, and we just really bonded, and then that whole, hey, Mr. Columbus, are you free the next week in your band because we want to do this record and it's awesome, and it was like absolutely, and it was a magical thing. It was the beginning of our relationship, and it started there, and it's just flourished. Yeah. And we'll be doing the Martin thing, and for sure we're going to be. You're going to come and see us when
I'll
we're
go
touring
sleep
around
in your
with Maggie.
tub in Nashville.
Yeah, well, the tub that you've helped design, you're going to make it beautiful. The plans is gorgeous. Absolutely, anytime. And I believe in you, full tilt boogie. As I
know you do, and that's touching to me because I admire you so much, and to have you invite me to your shows and invite me into your home.
I want everybody to know I've worked many years to get a big full, and I'm very, very grateful. I may not play on the radio, but I'm telling you, when I do a show, it's full. And if I have the opportunity to bring, especially you, to do the first part, to be there, and for these people who I know are people of feeling and of heart and love and soul, hear you. I got goosebumps under this shirt right now. Woo! It's, for me, is a gift to be able to do that, to share you with people and share what you do, because it is magical, and you do move people, and you do have, you're my soul sister, honey.
I'm happy.
I love you. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Love you.
Mwah. So much.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Reney Ray, you can get her albums anywhere on Spotify or any of those things in the stores. You can call her Ray. I believe her next album is
You
going
can
to be...
call me Ray. Actually, quick anecdote before we leave. Probably my next English album is going to be called You Can Call Me Ray. And this is because last year, Angel wakes up and she calls me up and she says, hey, we're going for like a week or something or 2 weeks. And the bus, bring your daughter, come chill with us in the bus. We're going to go around. And so I'm in their bus and I'm playing with Denis and the guitar, and she comes out and she's like, hey, I had a dream last night that you wrote a song, and the song was called You Could Call Me Ray. And then me and Denis started writing the song You Could Call Me Ray.
10 minutes later, it was finished.
It was hilarious. Oh, man.
It's a great name, and I do call you Ray because I like it.
Yeah, people call me Ray, but it was nice. So my next album is pretty much going to be called You Could Call Me Ray, thanks to these
Reney
people.
Ray, my soul sister. If you don't have her album, go out and get it, s'il vous plaît, parce que ça va shaker tes fondations. And of course, my record, Hell Bent with Grace, which comes out November 1st.
Please do that. Please get that album. It is
Come and get it.
amazing. Amazing, amazing.
Love you, baby.
I love you. Thank you.